Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone tonight. Thank you for being here. Notice is hereby given of a regular meeting of the Board of Directors held at 105 Port Road, Port Isabel, Texas, and January 22nd, 2025 at the hour of 5:30 p.m. for consideration of the business of the agenda below. This notice is posted at the office of the district on January 16th, 2025 at 1 p.m. in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551-041-551-050, not less than 72 hours prior to the time of the said meeting. Today, we do have a quorum. Present, we have Mr. Starkey, Mr. Friedman, and Mr. Donahue. With notice, not joining us tonight, we have Dr. Lalonde and Mr. Botter. If I may please have everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and all its blessings. Keep us ever mindful of our responsibility to serve our community. Bless us with wisdom and clarity so that we can effectively consider each part of today's agenda. Reveal problem areas and guide us to the best solutions. Lord, you also know that a severe drought is affecting our land. We humbly ask for your help. Send forth life-giving waters to replenish the ground, revive all living things, and fill our reservoirs with precious rain. We ask this through Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Eddie. We're moving along to item 3, invitation to the audience for public comments. Staff, board, Zoom. Any questions, comments, anything? None? We'll take it to item 5, general manager's report. Carlos?
Okay, how about number 4 then?
Oh, excuse me, consider and discuss for possible approval of the minutes from the regular meeting on January 8th, 2025. Excuse me. Motion made for approval by Mr. Donahue, seconded by Mr. Starkey. Are all those in favor? They are. None are opposed. Motion carries. Thank you. Now we're at item 5.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I've seen, kept up with the levels and we're at 21.1%, which is not much. Still like in the low 20% percentile, and we've been like that. We're still in the stage 3 of the drought management plan, and we'll keep doing that until if it rains more. Get more rain, there'll be a lot of help for us. We'll get rid of stage 3 and go back to 2. But as long as it doesn't rain, we're still in the same predicament there. And then the second bullet, as you can see, there's no water tower back there. They demolished it, so they did a good job within 3 weeks. We had cold weather, rain, and they kept going. It kind of helped them out with the rain because all the sparks that were falling, kept the little fires and sparkles off the rain. So they had a water hose out there, like spraying water all the time, because there's a lot of drizzling fire in the top.
But we didn't have any. There were no problems, were there?
No problems. But they took care of it very professional, and I'm happy with that. I think they might be going back later on to dismantle a couple of pipes, I think, but that's not it. So they did the job.
Excellent. Looks nice.
And that's all I have.
Great.
Thank you.
No.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to item 6, district engineer's report.
Good evening. So basically, we'll just focus on the seawater desalination project updates. And we do have a video, so we can start off by watching the video that we're working on, just to see what we're starting to present here. We did already present at the 3 meetings: Laguna Vista, Port Isabel, and South Padre Island. And so this will stay in Houston. Get posted on our website.
Pollution and climate change are all affecting our access to clean water.
The severe drought currently impacting our region has brought water levels in the Falcon and Amistad reservoir system to historic lows. Without a backup plan, our community faces the risk of water shortages, higher costs, and potential economic challenges. The Rio Grande, our region's primary source of fresh water, is currently over-allocated, meaning stream flows are insufficient to meet the total water demand for both municipal and agricultural users. Having an alternative water source would help reduce our reliance on the Falcon and Amistad reservoir system. One such option under consideration is the development of a seawater desalination facility, which could provide an additional sustainable source of water for the Laguna Madre Water District. The goal of the proposed project is to provide a drought-resistant sustainable water supply for the Laguna Madre Water District through the construction of a seawater reverse osmosis facility. Proposed improvements would include a new seawater intake structure as a second diversion from the Port Isabel turning basin to the existing water treatment plant number 1. Additional components include raw water clarification, microfiltration, energy recovery devices, and a system for managing concentrate discharge, among other system upgrades. The Laguna Madre Water District completed the Port Isabel wastewater treatment plant's outfall extension in 2017, which is now capable of handling concentrate disposal from a desalination process. In January 2024, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers released a final report confirming the viability of the outfall extension for this purpose. Additionally, the ongoing construction of microfiltration infrastructure has been designed to complement the proposed seawater reverse osmosis facility, allowing for better blending of Rio Grande and seawater sources. Seawater desalination is a well-established and widely used technology, with nearly 21,000 desalination plants either constructed or in the process of being built globally. According to a recent report published by the International Desalination Association, the global installed and cumulative freshwater production from desalination plants reached 25.7 billion gallons per day as of February 2020. This technology harnesses the ocean, a vast, renewable resource, to provide a reliable, drought-resistant solution for meeting water needs. The proposed facility would be capable of producing up to 5 million gallons of treated water per day, significantly increasing our ability to meet future demand and enhance water security for our region. To complete this project, a new tax bond is proposed to fund the final phase of construction. This bond is anticipated to cover the costs of building the seawater desalination facility, ensuring the project is completed and fully operational. The estimated tax impact is 7 cents or less per $100 of taxable property value for the average home in the district, with a taxable value of $200,000. The estimated annual cost to the taxpayer would be approximately $140 or less. The desalination facility offers several potential benefits for the community. In addition to providing a reliable water source, the project is expected to create local jobs, stimulate the economy, and ensure our region's long-term sustainability. A diverse water supply will help protect us from the risks of future droughts and increase our resilience in the face of climate change. We understand that there may be concerns about the environmental impact, cost, and feasibility of the project. First, the facility will be designed to minimize any potential environmental impacts, particularly to marine life, through the use of advanced technology and best practices. As for cost, the bond is structured to ensure minimal impact on taxpayers while securing a sustainable water supply that will benefit our community for decades. This May, voters in the Laguna Madre Water District will have the opportunity to decide whether to approve the issuance of tax bonds to fund the construction of the seawater desalination facility. At the Laguna Madre Water District, quality water is our business.
So,
Droughts,
Good.
hope,
yeah, so I think we still have a couple more edits, but we just got this draft about an hour before the meeting. So, yeah, seems like it's gonna be-
My only comment I shared before was the voiceover is sounds a little computer AI generated. It's sounds computerish to me. Maybe a little more authentic voiceover on it would be. That's just my comment. And I think the fact that there's 21,000 from that takeaway, desalination projects, plants either out of the box or are coming out of the box, I think is important for us to share with our people.
Did you say you already did 3 presentations?
Yeah, we presented to Laguna Vista, Port Isabel, and South Padre.
How'd that go?
It went well. I mean, there was really, there wasn't a lot of negative feedback. I mean, I guess, say that South Padre Island that closed, is Mayor Nolte was just a successful election in May. So, that it seemed between the three.
Did you do these handouts
Yes,
at the presentation?
yes, this is the same presentation. Yeah, I guess, did we go through, this will be the first time you're seeing the PowerPoint presentation?
Yeah, that was in the packet the first time I saw it.
Okay, yeah, so I don't know if we can jump over the slides, so we can walk through the.
I actually took pictures, put on my phone, because I won't remember everything that's in there. But I get questions all the time,
Okay,
and it's on how much it's gonna cost, and, where's the money going, and all this other stuff, so it's a good deal.
nice, excellent. All right, so this was the opening slide,
Yeah.
like you're saying, where we just kind of came up right at the beginning, considering the bond election for May 3rd, 2025. And our remaining authorization needed to fund construction's at 59 million. And of course, we're in good position for funding from Bureau of Reclamation through their desalination construction program, and then the same with the SWIFT monies. So looking at submitting for 2025 and see what they're going to allocate from that new water supply fund in Texas. They still got to determine how that's going to get administered, but we'll see how that gets.
It's encouraging.
Right, exactly.
And if required, would that reduce our tax implications or?
Yeah, if there's any loan forgiveness at the state level, that 75% match, yeah, that would just bring.
And I think we need to stress that the potential of our future grants and stuff that we could get that would really reduce that. That's a big thing to put in front, in my opinion.
Right.
I agree. And to that end, is there a way that we can market that effort that is being made on the district's behalf in our little 4-minute reel?
Yeah,
Because the way I interpret what I just saw was 7 cents per 100 taxable property value dollar, average home 200,000. I guess that might be what our region's average is, but the $140. But somewhere in that segment, could we talk about the grants that we're pursuing, the new monies that are being made available by our Texas legislature and those efforts? This is a worst case scenario, what you just presented right there. And I think that could present, I don't know, some hope
$20 million worth of grants.
that we're doing everything we can to reduce that.
Loan
Right.
forgiveness really helps push that. And when people are aware of our progress, I think has a huge impact also.
yeah, definitely. Like, if you want to jump to that last slide, the slide report. One more. So on January 14th, this is really the major update here. We received that notice that we are being considered for award. So we got, through bipartisan infrastructure law, we're looking at the $17,531,302 in grant. We received that letter on January 14th. And then we had our first kickoff meeting today. And of course, with the change in administration, they've been ordered not to sign any agreements until further notice, but that's just with the change in administration. We're still looking at, I'm sure the money's there. The agreement, we're probably looking at more or less September timeframe to enter into the grant agreement. And so in terms of just being conservative, since we do have to call this election in February, to keep the call at 59 million, because until that grant agreement is signed, there's
Sure,
no
you can't,
mechanism.
I mean, it's not guaranteed, but
Right.
it definitely sounds like we are trying to get that money and it will complement. And hopefully the total amount will not be 59 million to borrow.
Right.
That means a lot to a lot of people. I think it does.
And the efforts being made, again, I reiterate, there's been a lot of efforts on behalf of this district to lessen the burden on our local.
And that's a big sale. That's a big attribute.
I think they need to know that. Like, we're not, hey, we have this great idea, and there's a need, and you guys are gonna foot the bills. Like, no, we're looking for funding outside of that. We've gone extensively, to do that. We don't have to lose, there's promise or give them any factors, but just
We're working
we're working
diligently.
diligently, and there's been a lot of efforts, we've been starting this over a year.
This has been 10 years in the making.
Yeah, so, and then the other, and I'm sorry for telling you, the other question is, what about the money that was approved, I don't know, a decade or so ago, way before my
Yeah, well, that's where we've already issued that $10 million. And so if you look at this plus existing authorization of the 5,655,000, that's the.
What's left?
That's what's left.
Understood.
That's unissued debt.
Left of the 15 million.
Yes, exactly. And so that's already, that's what brings our call or request down to 59 million. It's we're allocating that existing authority to issue 5.655.
And again, the way that we're wording that particular part of the segment could, we didn't just arrive at this 59, we've already, because there's people that's been in this district, you're one of them. That remember that.
They're gonna wanna know where the other 10 million went.
Correct.
Do you have that?
Yeah, I mean, the 10 million
Because
is,
that's there's 15 million. They're gonna say, oh, there's 5 million. Where's the other 10 million?
yeah,
These old heads right here represent a majority of the people who live in our community. They remember that. They voted on that. They thought this was settled 15 years ago.
yeah, I mean, the
That's
10 million
correct.
is our planning acquisition design, and we just closed on that in November of 2024. So that's what's,
A little bit more education as it relates to that money, I think would go a long way because, again, all jokes aside, there's a
That question
population,
will
I
come
think,
up.
significant that they think they approved this already, and then what happened to that money? Like, we
correct.
voted yes a long time ago, where's that money at? So I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here since Dr. Lalonde's not here.
That was
And
the
I'm
first
sitting in this
question that somebody
over
asked
around
me
the other
was, didn't we already pass this? And I said, yeah, but that was 11 years ago. Process went up. And
right.
They said, how much was it? I said, 15 million. And so then they gonna see this, gonna go, where's the other 10 million?
Yeah, the 10 million is designing, and yeah, and I know some of the other comments is as far as, what's in place today, but we have
Well, I guess
microfiltration.
maybe
Uh-huh.
that ought to be in there. So.
Yeah, we can do that.
You've done a great job of talking about the preparations the district has made in order for this to align with our waste management and our ability to take that capacity on with the microfiltration. It's not just sand filtration that used to exist over there. We are intimately aware of everything that we've done. In layman's terms, to the extent which is possible, educate the viewer and the people that we'll be presenting to, just kind of give them a little, update on, hey, this was approved back then, these are where the monies went. We've, aligned the district to be able to take this on. And we've been really good stewards, I think, with all the money as it relates to this vision. And now we're kind of at the, the catalyst of it. 59 million is a big price tag. And a lot of people get kind of scared by that. Even though you've done a great job of saying 7 cents per 100, and that equates to this. I mean, I think that's great, but there's still more of a money story to tell. Where the 15 million, the 10, where it's gone, and the efforts that's being made to reduce this price tag even more. I think we've done a good job of the dialogue that's taking place with, talking about the need and growth, and we're kind of overextended right now, and this is a sustainable source and all those things, and it's being done all over the world. That's great. I think a little bit more, and I too agree, if we can have a better voiceover at this hour, I would go there too. I charge to do voiceover, so if you want, just kidding.
Hey,
But
well, that would make it more, if we have a board member doing the.
I wouldn't
voice
mind to do it.
recording.
I mean, quite honestly, for nothing, but I think it would help, whether it's me or someone else, to read what we're talking about.
Just like the South Padre Island Chamber comment, they had all kinds of questions and we answered everything. Plus the 10 million is going to piloting and environmental studies and feasibility. You mentioned that that's where 10 million went to. And it's still ongoing.
We have to have the facts addressed on that, not that we don't need anything spinning out of control on that.
And our presentations are starting with the video and then they're ending with this PowerPoint. And so this is just, Charles hasn't had a chance to run through the whole PowerPoint presentation, but the PowerPoint there is to dive into the details so that we can get into, explain all the details and be ready for any questions that come up from the public. That's what that second part of the presentation is for.
And we did mention that if there's any numbers that change within that time to later on in the future before the election, we'll bring it up to you again.
I have a
Just the facts,
question.
that's all.
What, on the bond issue, on the money that we want, and at our cost projection, have we put in a little bit of surplus? Because, on everything that happens, there's cost overruns, a delay, things gone up within 1 year? We
Yes,
didn't put it in there, so did we give ourselves a push?
well, the discussion of where, from talking to Dave Petrie and myself, we feel like we, on top of this number that's stated here, we need to have a $5 million contingency for cost of escalation, all the unknowns that's gonna be happening on the project. And the reason, what helps support keeping this request at 59 million, knowing we're in, we basically got the offer letter for the 17.5 million. So, chances are we are gonna get that grant. But that once we start basically cutting off that 59 million, we still have that for contingency to cover that 5 million within that request of 59 million. So it covers the contingency as we keep the request at 59 million.
Just everything we do, it seems like we end up in a cost overrun.
Yep. No, but I think keeping that with where we're at on the grant, the 17.5 million, and keeping the request at 59, I mean, that essentially has contingency period.
Those are very important to make sure the public is aware of that and knows that that's a lot of behind the scenes of work in getting this funded. And that's I think means a lot to the voter.
You're doing a great job.
Yes, excellent job.
We just are passionate about making sure that we're telling that story.
Just want
All
to get
the
this over
effort
the
that's been
hill.
made, all the considerations been done. This has been a work in the park for years, and we're close, and we all obviously are really aligned with wanting it. But in order to market it more accurately, the money story has to be told a little better. And another is the environmental story. I mean, there's a lot of passionate environmentalists, and rightfully so, in this region. So there's probably going to be intake questions. What's that going to do to our channel? What's that going to do to fish and ecosystem that exists out there? Like all those things, to whatever extent we can talk about what we've done, studies we've participated in, science that we've researched, whatever means of implementation we're going to do to take those considerations into. I think it would benefit us for us to advertise that as well. My last question is, where are we putting this video? When we full on green light, is this just a website thing? Are we going to do any commercials or that's a 4-minute slot, so it's I don't know, $100 million in the Super Bowl, but what have we talked about how we're going to market it?
I mean, aside from presentations at meetings, I mean, I know we have Rotary Club on Friday, but we can post it on our website when we feel like when it's ready. I think there's one more edit to be put in when we post it on our website. But as it is, since we're already having these town hall meetings or city commission meetings, and it's getting presented, I'm going to try to get out there, right?
Social media. I mean, we still have that
For
team
the-
that's in charge of our PR, right? And
For the last bond, we posted it on our website, and we also posted it on social media.
I think a little workshop, and I think that's good efforts. Vic, my friend. So we should talk with our PR team and maybe get their input on the best ways to market these things. So without a 4-minute spiel, we could just have nice little,
Especially that month that leads up to this vote, when it gets that, because all of a sudden that thing's on the ballot and they're going, but if they see it whether it's newspaper, television, whatever, but I think there's gotta be a push that last month before the vote.
I mean, the objective here should be transparency and communication. We want to educate and communicate everything we're doing, what that means. Invite them to these town hall meetings, them being the public, right? So we need to market that. You can come hear more Q&A that the district's participating in at this next meeting. Let everyone know to the extent which is possible where we're at, how they can find us, how they can ask questions. I mean, question box here. I mean, I don't know. Just think outside the box, because we really want everyone to feel like they have some ownership of this, because eventually if it gets passed, they will. And so we want to, I think, go to those lengths to make sure that the community feels a part of and not dictated to, if that makes sense.
Like I said, this was good because the first individual that started asking me all these questions, I just sent this whole thing to him and just said, if you got any other questions,
Excellent.
Thank you, guys, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, and as far as, I guess we don't need to dive into much more detail, and we kind of sort of got it all in a nutshell. But I mean, if there's if there's sort of a breakdown on here, if we want to dive into the, pre-award costs. I mean, basically all the invoices after November 25th are eligible to start being pre-award for 2575. So there is a breakdown, if this grant comes to fruition, I mean, we're looking at a subtotal construction cost of, what, 39.5 million? And so, yeah, that's quite a bit of savings from where we're sitting right now. So I mean, and then the other part of this is the fact that we are administering the existing 10 million. There's this legal size paper in the current budget. I mean, they did release the first escrow amount for 900,000, which pretty much pays for, our local cost of feasibility study. And we are doing a budget amendment to release more funds on a planning level. And so that's under review at Water Development Board right now. And so with this budget amendment that's in process of getting revised, our next escrow will be another 2.4 million given release for us to just get to your 40% design. And then for the pilot testing itself, that's another categorical exclusion, like you have in environmental clearance, which that should have a pretty quick turnaround, which releases the funds for the pilot test itself. So we're in a good position using the funds that we have.
Excellent.
Sounds good.
Excellent. Does that conclude?
Yes, and well, the timetable for the election, I mean, I guess it's already understood, we need to call the election on February 12th. So that's when, all the,
That's the next meeting.
yeah, the next meeting, that's our, February 14th is the deadline, so we'll put it there on February 12th. And then, May 3rd is the actual election, and then we'll go through that process, canvass the results, and get it all finalized in June.
Okay.
That concludes the report.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's move to item 7. Consider and discuss the possible approval of the financial reports for October 24. Questions, comments about any of these?
Thanks, Gary.
I just wanted to mention on that this is the month of October is still under the old water and sewer rates. And if you compare it to the previous year, the 492,000 that was booked as miscellaneous revenue, that was annexation fees that we received last year. So that's why there's a big difference there in the miscellaneous revenue.
Questions, comments?
No, sir.
We need a approval.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion for approval made by Mr. Donahue, seconded by Mr. Starkey. All those are in favor?
Aye.
None are opposed. The motion does carry. Thank you. Let's move to 8. Consider and discuss the possible approval of insurance agent broker services.
Chairman, members of the board, we ask for qualifications for an agent of record to take care of the Wisdom Care and Health Insurance. We have a meeting with the insurance committee. We evaluate the proposal that we received, and we have meetings with different agents. And after the evaluation of the proposals, we're pleased to recommend awarding the contract to Victor Insurance to be our agent of record in order to obtain a renewal for Wisdom, Hurricane, and Health Insurance coverage for the period of April 1st, 2025 to April 1st, 2026, and from April 1st, 2026 to April 1st, 2027.
Basically, I'm on the committee, but we had 4 reviews or 4 people that did presentations. And of course, Ontario was there for 4 years and kept going up. Not that it was his fault, because insurance was going up anyways. So, but we felt that there was maybe there was other people out there. There's 2 that we really liked, actually, besides Victor. There's an Alliant, and they're big. I mean, they've been around for 99 years or something like that. They're the biggest. But Eddie has worked with Victor Group and with South Padre Island. Right?
City of South Padre, they
And
do
you said you had good results and good communication with them.
good service.
So just after the review, we felt, and they're pretty good sized company, been around for a while. So, and they felt better on doing 2 years in one, so we didn't have to go repeat the process and maybe give those people a little more confidence. And so I think they picked a good choice. So I would recommend it.
With that recommendation, I make a motion to approve.
Motion for approval made by Mr. Donahue, second by Mr. Starkey. All are in favor. None are opposed, and the motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Bill. 9, consider and discuss the possible approval for the purchase of a 3,000 gallon chemical tank for water plant 2.
Yes, we need to replace how much chemical tank for the water plant number 2. The tank is leaking. We want the board to approve the award as an emergency. And we want to award this to Area Filter for $53,982.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Starkey for approval.
How old are the tanks? How old was the tank?
From 2014,
2014.
2014. 10, 11 years.
Need to know it.
We need it, we
Alright.
can't operate the microfiltration without.
That classifies emergency.
A second.
There was a motion made by Mr. Starkey for approval, seconded by Mr. Donahue. All those in favor, none are opposed. Motion does carry. Item 10, consider and review expenditures from January 1st, 2025 through January 15th, 2025. Has everyone reviewed them? Questions, comments about anyone in particular? Otherwise, we acknowledge them.
Acknowledge.
Acknowledged by Mr. Starkey, acknowledged by Mr. Friedman, and acknowledged by Mr. Donahue. That concludes this meeting. Adjournment at 6:01 PM.
Boom.